Hello everyone, Nigel here with you, Moses Modern Bench. Welcome back to the channel. So here we have the 9th delivery now of the Ford Mustang in 1/6 scale from DeAgostini, and what a gorgeous kit it is. If you have a look in the description below this video right there, you'll see a link in there where you can go and take a look and maybe subscribe yourself if you want to start building one of these. It goes together beautifully, it's very easy, and it's huge, and it's going to weigh a bloody ton. It is a lovely model. It is very nice indeed. So in this 9th pack we've got 5 parts. We've got parts 30 or packs 34 to 38, and we've also got another freebie. And because I've filled up the first one, I've now got to use my second lovely Ford Mustang ring by bolt folder box to put the magazines in. You can see there it's an official Ford license product, and it's also an official Shelby license product. So there we go, that famous, beautiful 67 Shelby. So what have we got in this box? I have had a look so that I know what to talk about. So in here we have, this has been delivered by Yodel, by the way. They've seemed to have, in the UK, for some reason, they've stopped using Royal Mail and using Yodel. I was a little bit apprehensive when they told me. My only experience, I've only ever had 2 experiences with Yodel. One was when they put a card through my door for a non-existent parcel that didn't exist. So I went to collect a parcel that wasn't there. And also another time they came to collect a parcel that again didn't exist. And they had my address and everything on their chitty. And just, oh dear. Today they came and left this on the doorstep, so that was good of them. So there we go. So we have the magazines for parts 34 to 38, as we can see there. And then we have part 34. So this is going to be a rear drum brake and a shock absorber. You can see in there we've actually got brake shoes as well, so that's pretty. And then 35 is another tyre. So I think that makes 4 now we've done, so that should be it. Unless we're going to do a spare as well. And then we've got 36, which is another wheel, all made of metal, very heavy. And we'll have to do some thread cutting there. So you don't have to, but I like to. So we'll do some thread cutting on that one. 37 looks like an inner fender. So that should be a really simple one, just 3 screws. So that's all going to go together very nicely indeed. And then finally, pack 38, we've got this is going to be the right hand leaf spring because they've already done the left. And if you look at it, it is actually a real leaf spring. It is made of pieces of metal and it's beautiful. Very nice indeed. And you can see by the size of it, it's huge. That's how big this model is, it's massive. And then we've got this freebie here, which is very nice indeed, and it can go alongside. I will reach up and grab this one, which has probably got a bit of dust on it. Yeah, this is the one we got with pack 7, I think. We got the white one, and now we've got the green one. So this comes free with pack 9. So it's a little extra, a little extra for you. It's a lovely model, beautifully made. Lovely detail on there, 43rd scale. Really nice. Look at those exhausts, they're lovely. And it's got all the detail underneath as well. It's beautiful. Really is very nice indeed. Lovely model to display in your office, living room, whatever. So yeah, really nice. And as I say, there's the white one again. Again, beautifully detailed with all the lovely bits and pieces on there. So yeah, really nice. So we've got those 2 to display now. Right, so without further ado, we'll get all this back in the box, and then, as we always do, we'll have a look at the magazine first, because there's always some interesting stuff in those magazines, isn't there? So I'll see you in a sec. Okay, so we've got the magazine here for pack 34. So basically all your information in there, as we've already said before. This model is now available in the USA, in case you didn't know. So we're going to be talking about the GT350H, which was a basically you had the GT350 in 1966, which you could rent. It wasn't actually a GT350, I don't think. I think it was just a sort of standard Mustang, a little bit hyped up. And then in 2015 they brought out the in 2006 they brought out the GT-H, which was the S197. I actually had one of these, and that was just slightly tuned, but obviously they had the black paint, they had the mag wheels and the gold stripes on them. They were only available for certain places, certain airports. I think, yeah, it says here they were only available in selected airports. I tried to get one at Los Angeles. I had no chance. So yeah, I ended up with I think it was a red one, a red V6. Great. But yeah, they had very, very nice exterior, special bonnet. They had different wheels, as you can see, the stripes and everything. They were lovely. You can actually get, if you want to build a model on these, you can actually get a Revell / Monogram, do a 25th scale one of that actual car. So I've got one. In fact, I think I've got two. So there you go. So we've got the parts here. We're going to be doing the rear drum brake and the shock absorber by the look of it in this one. So quite involved. We're going to have to get our chassis out as well. So here we got in the back of the magazine the Ford Maverick, the little Mustang. I remember when I was a lad, I had like a 16th scale one of these. I think it was a big model Ford Maverick. I think it was a Daewoo or something. I can't remember. But that was how I learned about the Maverick, and it was basically based on a Mustang. Yeah, it was quite a nice car. Obviously, never as popular, but yeah, there you are, 302 in there, beautiful. 302 is a 5 litre, just like we've got today, but a completely different engine. Don't think I'm trying to say it's the same engine. And there we can see, beautiful looking car. Have they got a picture of a 4-door here? No, I think there was a 4-door Maverick as well. We don't have a picture of it here. So there we go. So that's looked at the magazine. So let's have a look at doing some building. There's some different bits of assembly going on. I've had a quick look. So let's get the magazine over here to the side, and we'll get our light on because we're building, and we'll get our pack 34. So first things first, we'll get the bag open and we'll see what we got, and we'll check to make sure we've got all our parts. So we have another little bag here. So we have a knurled pin, we have some screws, so we have some PS05s, so they're plastic, so no tapping required here. So they are the PS05s. We're only using one of them, they always give you a spare. And we'll have a PS23, a couple of those. Again, we'll only be using one of them. So the PS23 we know is shiny, so we could lose the bags. And then we'll get these parts out here. That's the shock absorber mounting, that's the shock absorber piston by the look of it, and then we've got the shock absorber body there. So there we are. If you're building one of these and you want to, you could paint all this up nice and blue and everything. So we've got the brake shoes, the brake drum, the back plate, the shock absorber body, the shock absorber shaft, the mount, the pin, and we've got our screws there over there. So that's laid out as it is in the magazine. So yes, we've got everything here. So they're saying place the flat part of the left rear shock absorber cylinder between the two holes of the left rear shock absorber support so that the angle of the two parts coincides. So they're showing that like that. They don't show which way around it is. I can see it's got an angle on it, but this appears to be symmetrical. So that's just going to basically slot in there like that. It's awful with black plastic parts. It's hard to see what's going on. Then we're going to take this pin. This pin, you can see it's got one end here is shiny, plain, and this end here is knurled. Okay, so we're going to take the plain end and we're going to slide that through our shock absorber mount, he says. There we go. That's going to go through there and through the other side, and then we're going to take a little pair of pliers and we're just going to squeeze that in just like that, and that'll keep that held in there like that. If you want to put a drop of super glue on there or something, you can, because it's not that tight a fit. What I might do is try turning it around. It could be that one side the hole is smaller than the other and it will go in tighter on one side than the other. So what we'll do is try turning this around, going from this side. If you experience this, always, yeah, it's no different. In fact, if anything, it's looser on that side. So what I think I'll do, DeAgostini have asked me not to break the process, not to add anything or anything, but on this occasion I'm going to put a drop of super glue on here just to help lock that pin in. Have I put it on the knurled end? Yes, I have. Doesn't need much, it just needs something just to help lock that pin in. Then I can grab a cotton bud like so, just wipe over the surface. That gets rid of any excess, and now that I know that pin will stay in there. Sometimes happens, molding tolerances, cooling, whatever, you know, they're looking for a very tight tolerance to get it so that it obviously goes in, but it needs to go in and become tight. So these knurled pins, it's always the way. You just it's pot luck in some cases. Anyway, so we've got that in. Okay. Now put the protrusion on the left rear shock absorber support 34F into the hole in the chassis indicated in the picture. Note the support is angled. You can see it's angled here. Okay, you can see I've got the same as the magazine is now. You can see that support there is angled. Note the support is angled, and this indicates the mounting direction. The angle of the block absorber cylinder should be towards the rear axle as shown in the detail. Turn the chassis over and secure the support with a PS05 screw, which is one of the black ones. So we can see in here, what are they trying to show us? That basically this is going to go in sideways and it needs to lean towards the axle. So when you put it in, this needs to be the axle side. If you put it in that way, it's going to lean away. So this needs to be, hang on a minute. In fact, they've got a pin there, so I'm wondering if they've made it foolproof. Let's have a look. Something I've noticed as well on mine, because we turn it over and work on it, this filler neck has come loose, so I may have to do something about that. So yes, they've got a pin down in here, so you can't go the wrong way. Well, you probably could, but you can see down in here, where are we? We've got this recess, you've got the hole in the middle for the screw, and then here there is a small hole. Okay, I'm going to grab a block of something so I don't put it down on that filler neck. On here there is a small pin, as you can see, so that pin will correspond with that hole, meaning this is going to lean towards the axle, so the axle is going to be on this side. Okay, so that's going to go down in there. Easier said than done. I'm going to use a pair of tweezers and see if I can sort of manipulate it in. Okay, so the pin goes in the big hole. That's good, that's staying where it is. So now we can put our finger on there, turn it over, we'll grab a PS05 screw, and we will put the screwdriver in the screw and tighten the screw up. Don't over tighten it because it's plastic. Okay, so that's our shock absorber mount in. So that's that done. Right, what do they want us to do now? That's getting really loose, that filler neck. So what they want us to do now is insert the left rear shock absorber piston 34E into the inside of the rear shock absorber cylinder 34D as shown. Check the other end of the piston is facing the hole in the flange of the shock absorber support plate 33D. So we're going to insert, are you on camera? No, you're off camera. We're going to lift this up. We're going to put this shaft into that hole. Okay, and then I bet what it's going to say is use one of those little shiny screws. We're going to lean that up there. Hopefully it will stay there. Get the magazine. So the piston is facing the hole in here. So that is basically that piston is going to go into there. It's got a tab on it, so we'll have to get it aligned. Insert the end of the rear shock absorber into the hole in the flange, ringed in red of the shock absorber, and secure with a PS23 screw. So in the back of this flange there will be a key, because you can see on the end of here we have a tab, and that's obviously going to go into a key. So we'll turn this over, we'll turn this around, sorry, until we feel it lock in. There we go. That can't turn, and the reason they've done that is so that you can put the screw in without having to hold the piston solid. I should have put this on the screwdriver first. So now that can go. Come on. It's not very magnetic. I think it might be stainless. It might be a non-magnetic stainless steel, or only slightly magnetic, if there is such a thing. So there we go, that's that in there. So now we've got our working shock absorber along with our working spring. So you can see there, everything is moving sweetly. Very nice, isn't it? Nice, right. So we're going to put this to one side now, this chassis, because we're going to work on the brakes. So those screws can go over here because they're going to go in the spares jar. I've got a Tamiya paint jar with all my screws in. So identify the pins on the left rear drum brake pack plate that fit into the holes in posts in the side of the left rear drum brake inner cover that does not have the brake mechanism. Okay. So what they're telling you to do is make sure you've got it this way around, not that way around. You can see we've got an L on here. That brake back plate is beautifully detailed. Very nice indeed. So, identify the pins on the left rear drum brake back plate. On the rear drum brake plate, God blimey, easy for you to say, that fit into the hole in the posts on the side of the left rear drum brake inner cover that does not have the brake mechanism. Put the pins in the holes and press the two parts together. So we've got pins on here. You can see there's an L on there. We've got holes here, and we're going to have this that way up, and we're going to have this that way up. Okay, and we're going to just basically pop that pin into that hole, pop that pin into that hole, and push. And there we go, there's our brake shoes all fitted nicely. Now look for the protrusion on the left end of the rear axle and the notch in the centre of the brake drum inner cover. When you slide the cover onto the axle, the notch and protrusion align the parts correctly as shown in the upper circular picture. So we will take our chassis back again and we'll go to the left side. You can see there is a tab there. We've got a notch there, so that is basically going to go on like that. Okay, so that's very nicely detailed, isn't it? And then finally fit the left rear drum cover. It's not, it's the drum. Over the brake drum inner cover. Now that's the back plate, that's the shoes, and that's the drum. Okay. This part is loose, so once you have checked how it fits over the inner cover, you will need to store it in a safe place, ready for a future assembly session. So that is basically going to go over there like that, and the wheel is going to centre it and everything. But there's your brake drum. Okay, so there's all your brake back plate, your brake shoes, and your brake drum. But that is all going to be taken off, and we're going to save it for a later edition. Alright, so there we are. So that has been a quick look at delivery number 9, the free gift. I showed you the magazine books, the magazine box, and we've assembled the rear shock absorber and the left rear shock absorber and the left rear brake drum. So I'll call that a day there, and I'll see you all very soon for pack 35 or 35 and 36 or whatever. I don't know where I'm going to go next. We shall see. I'll see you soon. Thank you very much for watching. Bye for now.